Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Thursday, March 25th, 2021. It's been a wild day. We are in the final hour of the trading day. The final hour of the trading day is my favorite time to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions, because at the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in, they take control of the price away from the day traders and the algorithms. In my opinion, they are dealing with they have very smart people, they have the best technology, best information, and they take control of the price away from the day traders and move it to what they think is the most valid price. And so that is why, in my opinion, making my buying and selling decisions based upon what they do at the end of the day is a long-term edge in your trading. So thank you for coming today. I appreciate it. I hope everyone is staying safe out there. It's been a crazy, wild, angry market, and we'll see if we can try to make sense of it. Today, currently, the Dow is up 125 points, up 0.38%. The NASDAQ is now positive after being deeply in the green. It's up 19 points, up 0.15%, and the S&P is up 16.42, up 0.42%. So it looks like the S&P is getting the best of the three indexes today. So here is the plan for today, everyone. First of all, we are going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back. We're going to take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, and how I'm going to manage them going forward. I did have some day trades today that I will share with you as well. After that, we're going to go over to the board and we're going to take a look and see how my students' positions are doing. It looked pretty nasty earlier, but now it's looking pretty good. I see some greens, so that's great. We'll take a look at those. After that, we're going to talk about trader psychology. Very important, especially in a market like this, trying to keep your emotions centered, not letting your emotions get amplified, making bad decisions. When the market's just going up nice and easy and straight, you really those emotions really do not get evoked. But at the end, but in this kind of market where there's a lot of whipsaws, where there are a lot of volatilities, that's when you kind of put yourself in the danger zone. So we'll talk a little bit about trader psychology. After that, I have gone down through my watch list. I have gone down through the results of Kamal's scanner. Real quick, I have three requirements when I'm looking to enter any trade. First requirement, I want to make sure I have a good combination or confluence of indicators lining up on multiple time frames. Secondly, I need to have a good risk to reward, at least 2 to 1. That is my minimum. If I'm risking $100 to the downside, I need to be able to make 200 or more to the upside. And then number 3, just take a few minutes, take a few moments before you place the trade at the end of the day, or any trade, and just make sure excuse me, make sure that you have a good clean setup. You know where your emergency stop is, end of day stop, profit targets, overhead resistance levels. Just make sure you have a real actual plan that you can follow, and then follow it. So I do have some end of day candidates that we're going to be taking a look at. Going to go through the time frames, look at the risk to reward ratios, and if I find something that looks good at the end of the day, I will go ahead and buy it. After the market closes, if you have any questions for me, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. If you have any stock symbols that you would like me to look at, I'm happy to take a look at those. Just put them in the chat, put an emoji or an asterisk by it so I know it's time sensitive. And lastly, if any of my students have any new entries or exits they would like me to update on the board, if you could just please wait till the end of the day. So I'm done trading, markets close, pressure's off, and then we'll take as much time as we need to get those updated. Okay, so I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer here, and I will see you in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, let's see who is here today. Lova is here. Nice to see you, Lova. Hope you are having a good day. Tracy, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Good lesson last night. I think you and Paxton did excellent. Congratulations on that. I was very proud of you. Quad says, happy thrifty Thursday, everyone. Let's all get some strong stocks at sales price. There you go. Good seeing you, Quad. Quad says, if the signals are there, of course. Of course. Dan gives the peace sign. I'm giving you the peace sign right back, Dan. Kamal is here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Thank you for everything that you do for this channel. I'm sure everyone appreciates. I know I do. Jonathan is here. Hello, Jonathan. Nice to see you. Good evening to you as well. Hope you are having a good night, and I'm looking forward to our lesson this coming Sunday. Frank is here. Hello, Greg and group. Hello, Frank. Good to see you, sir. Thank you as always for your poems. I know everyone appreciates those. I certainly do. Lova says PSXP V1 after 5 days of sideways motion, 50-200 cross, which is the golden cross. It broke through the 50 RSI and had a 520 EMA crossover intraday. Well, this looks promising. PSXP. PSXP. V1. Well, the V1's not valid anymore. This close would have to be above day one's close. 5-200 crossover. Yes, this happened back here. It broke through the 50 RSI. That is true. It has gone under 50, over 50, and a 520 EMA crossover intraday. Where the 5 is 29.40. Well, the 520 crossover was still in place yesterday. See, it has to close under and then close back over right now. Intraday. Intraday. Okay, so you're talking about some kind of intraday time frame. All right, well, it is a false breakout to the downside. It's close over the 250. If this could close over yesterday's close, I would be interested. But right now it is under. But there are some confluences. False breakout to the downside from here, false breakout to the downside from here, close over the 200. But for me to buy this, I would have to have the close over yesterday's close. Kamal says Qs have a higher low V1 for about 5 minutes. Oh, are the Qs back negative? Oh, for about 5 minutes. Okay, cool. So Kamal is talking about this false breakout down here and possible V1. Let's see, the close is 311.87. Let's take a look at that. And then it failed, huh? 311.87. All right. I am going to put the Qs down there because that is somewhat interesting for sure. False breakout to the downside in the value zone would be good. Tracy and Paxton, if you're out there, we learned about that stuff last night, remember? Lilia is here. Hello. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Good chatting with you earlier. Sunny. Hello, Sunny. Nice to see you. Hi, Greg and all. TOL has a nice confluence of signals. V1, bullish engulfing, under and over 50, bounce off the 50 SMA, 520 crossover, weekly rejection in the 1 ATR. Sunny, I am impressed. I am impressed with you taking a look at all this. This is fantastic. I mean, you and Lova are really starting to get the nuances of this. So what are we looking at? Oh, TOL. Toll Brothers. Oh, yeah. 520 crossover. False breakout to the downside. Bullish engulfing bar. V1. 520 crossover. Weekly. What did you have on the weekly? Weekly rejection to the -1 ATR channel. That is correct. Yeah, that all looks pretty good. I don't know what the 520 crossover back tests well. That's the only thing. Looks pretty good. Man, I hate to be a Scrooge about this, but here we have that big down bar over here on the 18th, and we've rallied right into it, and it's right about where we've stopped. This big bar down here scares me that we've rallied halfway into the middle. Right, Lilia? Lily and I have had lots of discussions about this, but thank you for that analysis, Sonny. Lovett says, my 200 SMA is showing much higher. It's probably the same problem I was having with TD Ameritrade, not accounting for the dividends. Yeah. Some charts, you do not have the options to account for dividends and splits. Mine are adjusted for dividends, so that is why sometimes our moving averages will be different. Timothy says, hello, everyone. Hello, Tim. Good to see you, bud. Always nice to have you here. Good chatting with you earlier. Tim and I talk a little bit of sports during the day, which is a nice diversion from trading, right, Tim? Let's see. Let me paste this in here, and let me give a shot at Frank's poem. You know it's going to be good, right? How are you feeling? If the market has you reeling from all its wheeling and dealing, step back, take on your own might, time on your own might just be worth stealing. Take a deep breath. It can be so healing. Well, that is absolutely true. I kind of butchered that. So let me give it one more shot. How are you feeling? If the market has you reeling from all its wheeling and dealing, step back. Time on your own might just be worth stealing. Take a deep breath. It can be so healing. I mean, come on. How good is that? You don't get that on the Joe Rogan show. You don't get that on the Joe Rogan podcast. You don't get Frank's poems. Holy smokes, Frank. So good. And you're right. Sometimes maybe just step back, take a deep breath, and it's healing. That's fantastic. Steve Burns, good to see you, my friend. Always an honor and privilege to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good interview with Trend Spider yesterday. And when that's available, let us know so I can share the link. I'm sure we'd all like to watch that. Steve says, hello, everyone. The churn and burn continues. Man, I'd say, holy hamburgers. Yavar says CWD V1, but big ATR today. CDW. Yeah, false breakouts to the downside from over here. Nice V1 over the 50 RSI. It's a little high in the channel. We have had resistance over in this area for quite a long time. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly, pretty high. I mean, it is holding the 5 EMA on the week, which is good, but we're up near the second ATR channel. You know, I always like to look at the higher time frame. In this case, the weekly. I'm always a little hesitant to buy things this high up. It'd be better if it was in the value zone, obviously, right? But good analysis. Boy, everyone's analysis is getting really, really good. But big ATR today. Yeah, it's larger than one ATR, which in itself bullish. I don't know. My gut feeling here, I would probably wait for a little bit of a pullback so I could get a better risk to reward. Timothy says, yes, need to break. That's true. Sunny says, I appreciate you being a Scrooge and pointing out the warning signs. It helps me continue to train my mind on what to look for. Okay, good. Yeah, I always hate to... every time somebody asks me to look at something, I want to say, oh my gosh, it's the best setup in the world. But I would not feel intellectually honest if I did not point things out. And that one that we looked at there, Sunny, that big down bar, larger than one ATR, right now we're right back at halfway, which, you know, is likely, doesn't have to be, but it's likely an area where it might get stuck. Frank says, Dan says, Frank, hands clap on the poem. That one's a beauty. I'm telling you. Tim says, Jazz are rolling. Yes, my Utah Jazz are rolling. I don't know if anybody out there is a basketball fan. I'm a big basketball fan. Little known fact, I try to watch every single replay of every game every night. Not the whole game, but just the highlights. I like to follow all the teams and see how they're doing. So, yep, I'm a big basketball fan. All right, should we get going? Let's do it. SPY. Well, the SPY has been all over the freaking place with the overnight SPY trade. This was a losing trade. I bought it. I only had two positions. I bought it at 387.52. Sold it yesterday at the close at 387.52. I sold it this morning at 385.99. So about $1.53 loss overnight. You know, interestingly enough, here on the SPY, we do have a V1. Here's day one. Day two washes out day one. Day two, which is today, closes above day one's close, and it also washed out the low of the previous range. That's a valid signal there, everybody. Just the SPY itself is a valid signal. TMO. All right. Johan, Lily, and I bought TMO at 446.61. Initially went our way like a champion, took some profit targets. That's why I like to take profit targets. You never know if you're going to get a big old pullback like we did, but if you do, at least you've locked in some at higher prices. This morning, I thought 1,000,000% I'm going to have to get out of this trade, but now there is light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, look how far off the lows this has come. Wow. So if it closes above the 200-day, I'll be a keeper. But if it closes underneath the 200, I have to follow my rules and I have to go ahead and just get out. All right. I had some day trades today on Apple. I'm going to go backwards in time. First trade on the 5-minute, we had a false breakout to the downside and a V2. I bought it right when it triggered. I bought it at 19.99. Went up like a rocket ship. I sold half at 120.23 because it was a big move. Then we just kind of went down. We went down here. We lost the 50 RSI. I sold half. I didn't put the line here because it coincided with this other trade, but it was about 119.96. And then the last bar here, I had the last quarter close below halfway of my washout bar, so I had to get out. So all in all, it was very close to a break-even trade because I bought here, sold up here 120, sold here at a little bit of a loss, but then I only had a quarter left on this big down bar. So yeah, let's just call it a scratch trade all in all. All right, let's go back in time. Here we go. This is a good setup, everybody. I always talk about sideways motion and how important it is. Usually I'm talking about it with the return to value, V1 or V2. You need sideways motion, but sideways motion is always good. Look, we came down, sideways. We had one false breakout to the downside and reversal back up with the V1. I bought it here when it triggered. I bought it at 119.32. The next bar moved up nicely for me. I sold half at 119.88, came back down, held my stop of halfway the washout bar. Then we had another big up move here. I sold the second half at 119.96. Here we lost the 50 RSI at 119.70 and then a close below the previous day's low at 119.58. So in at 119.32, out at 119.58, out at 119.70, out at 119.88, and out at 119.96. So that was a good one. All right, and then okay, in Berkshire. I had a trade on Berkshire Hathaway intraday. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's just the one. All right. So we closed below the -1 ATR channel. We rallied into the value zone. MACD went positive. We pulled back. We had a V1. I usually don't buy them this high, but it was pretty strong. I bought it when it was a bullish engulfing bar and a V1. I bought it here at 248.33. Next day next bar moved up strongly. I decided to keep it one more bar, see what happened. Then we rejected the 50, so I sold half at 249.05, and then we closed below the previous day's low. I got out at 248.59. So in at 248.33, out at 248.59, and out at 249.05. All right, so those are day trades, all in all positive, so I'm grateful for that. Boy, I might have the V1 I've been looking for on Berkshire today. False breakouts to the downside with the V1. We'll get to that in a minute. All right, let's take a look at your current trades. I don't know if Carlos and Gary are still in this. This was Etsy, bought at 215.80 with the 1050 crossover. Initially went way. Yesterday was a huge down day. I was unfortunately involved in that, but I did get out yesterday, down a little bit more today. I don't know if Carlos or Gary are still in, so if you are, please let me know. Shopify, Kamal did buy Shopify at 11.20. It is currently $1,120. It's currently $1,068, down 3.3% today. I am somewhat interested in Shopify here with the rejection of the 200-day moving average. Last time it rejected the 200, it really did hold well. So that is one of my potentials on the day. But this one is down on the day and unfortunately down on the trade for Kamal. Monster Energy, Steve bought Monster Energy with a 520 EMA crossover at 88.95. It is 88.60. It's down 35 cents on the trade, but it was down much lower earlier. So I'm sure Steve's feeling some relief that it rallied off the low. So just barely slightly down on the trade. And Steve, if you have any updates at the end of the day on that one, just let me know. PKI is green. Kamal bought PKI at 126.60. With the V2 close above the 200-day moving average. Yesterday it closed below the 200-day moving average. It is up slightly today, up 22 cents. It is below the 200-day moving average, so a little bit up on the day, but a little bit down on the trade. eBay is just a monster, isn't it? I mean, it is just doing really well. Timothy and Mamal are in eBay. Mamal got out of half yesterday. Good example of a deep dip buy. Rejection of the 200-day moving average, intraday rejection, close back above, good risk to reward ratio. The next day it did go lower, but that's why we make our decisions, or at least I make my buying and selling decisions at the end of the day, because that I believe that's the more valid price. And had you done that, it would have kept you in the trade with the close above. And look at this, just beautiful trade. And looks like Mamal sold half yesterday with the close below the previous day's low. I would do the same thing. But that's nice, right, Mamal? Now you have it locked in there, and you can give the other half a little bit of breathing room, see how it reacts around the 200. And Timothy is also in this as well, so good to see you in that, Tim. ARC Capital. David bought ARC Capital with the higher low V1 at 122.40. It's 113.82. It is down 0.84% today. So I don't know if David's still in that, but if you are, Dave, update me at the end of the day. I would be interested in buying ARC Capital if I could get a intraday rejection of the 200 or a close under, close over, something like that. We are going to have a double bottom with the bullish divergence, and I'm seeing this on a lot of stocks, by the way. Double bottom is where you have a low with deep MACD bars indicating strong downward momentum. We rallied into some green bars, green momentum. Now we're coming back down. I don't think we've quite tested it, but we are getting pretty close. And the test would be of the 200. So, and MACD bars here are very shallow, meaning this move back down here did not have the strength that this did. So this could be an excellent risk to reward ratio on ARC Capital, but really it's just a proxy for tech stocks. So down on the day and down on the trade there. Light. All right. Wow. Big day. Up 9% today. Gary put on some credit spreads. The 80.7750. It's 86.33 now. So Gary's having a good day on that. He just needs it to hold above $80 by April 16th, and he'll make the $60 per contract, depending on how many contracts he have. I don't know. Beyond Meat, Tracy. We were talking about this last night. I'm really glad to see that you put on a few extra shares on Boyd Gaming, and it's up 5.55%. What's this called, Tracy? You know what it's called. It's called the V1 because we talked about it. And by the way, this is part of my trading strategy. Crucial part. When you put on the trade, you have to go 1, 2, 3, no whammies. No whammies means that it will go up. Paxton and Tracy, little lukewarm with their no whammies last night, but they got into it and they put a lot of energy into it at the end. And it made a difference, didn't it? Okay. But way to go there. Very, very nice. Oh, I should say that that Paxton and Tracy bought this all the way back here, and I think I accidentally erased the lines. I did. I'm sorry, Trace. We bought it. I know you bought it back here around 42. I know you sold half at 56, and now it's back up at 60. So way to go there. NVAX. All right. Frank bought NVAX 135. It more than doubled. He sold 90% of his shares up here. He's kept a 10% trailer or a runner just for funsies. Came all the way back down, but he was like totally stoked that he sold it up here. Had a nice rally, but today, my goodness, down 14.14%. Oy vey. But Frank's not sweating it because he sold 90% when it was way up. And then I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Johan is here. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Steve says, even with today's bounce, most stock charts are making lower highs and lower lows. Yep. And what do lower highs and lower lows tell us? That means that the trend is down, right? Steve says, Chinese stock getting hammered. BIDU and Alibaba. Let's look at Baba. Down 2.44%. One thing I do want to point out here on Alibaba, though, is I was just talking about double bottoms with bullish divergences. Look at this first low. Look how deep the MACD bars are. Look at the rally into green. Now we are lower than all of these lows. No no red MACD bars. This is a double bottom with a bullish divergence. And it's even better than a double bottom with the bullish divergence because we don't have any red. This is called a double bottom with the bullish divergence and a missing right shoulder. This is a setup to the long side, but you still need a trigger. You need something to trigger you into the trade, like an under over 30, maybe a false breakout to the downside with the V1. Of course, a rejection of the 200-day would be interesting as well. Lova says, I agree, Sonny. Greg's honest evaluations are helpful and necessary. Well, thank you. I don't want to just say, oh, yeah, that looks good for no reason, right? Tracy said, I wonder if Greg is trying to get his students all trained so that he can maybe take a vacation and know that one of us could cover for him. Oh, please, would somebody do that for me? That would be awesome. I would love to take a vacation. I would love to take a vacation. I joke with Kamal about it all the time, but I think he just gives me a courtesy laugh. Put your hands up if you'd like Kamal to do the podcast one day. I think it'd be great. I could just sit back over there, eat some popcorn, comment. Dan says, Tracy, that would give him an opportunity to work his way around the country and visit us. I would love to do that. Get in a van. I don't have a van, but get in a van, drive around, see everybody, go see Dave and Dan and Frank and Steve and Kamal, and I see Tracy. And can't drive, go see Johan because he's in Hong Kong. But I would love to go see everyone. David is here. Good to see you, bud. David says, maybe one day we can have a Gregorian's Trader convention. How about a cruise? I was just talking about that the other day, that I'd like to go on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise. Tracy said, a traders convention would be so much fun and we could all watch Greg live. Oh, no. Pressure's on. All right. Timothy says, I also got out of half. Oh, you did? Okay. That's on eBay. All right. Good job, Tim. I mean, that's the rules, right? That's our trailing stop rules. Really glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that. Nike chart getting hammered on a gap down. Yeah, that's on my list to look at today. Under 30, over 30. Really scary though. But we will look at that in a minute. Nigma is here. Hello, Nigma. Good to see you. Timothy says, I bought puts on ARK this week. Oh, you did? Okay, tell me at the end and I'll get him up there. Kamal says, Greg will be trading on vacation. No, I won't. I mean, not much. David says, Kamal, you can do it for sure. Steve says, Kamal would be great. He would be great. 100%. 100%. Okay. Let's get over a little trader psychology for a minute, should we? You know that I have my favorite Facebook and Twitter channels that I like to follow. And I love this channel, Harnett, at Trader Harnett on Twitter. And I love this channel. I really do. He has some great things. And I read this earlier when the market was falling off a cliff. And I thought this would be apropos to today's podcast. But Harnett says, if you are feeling very low and depressed with your trading, don't worry. It's always the low points of our life that teach us the most important lessons, which eventually help us throughout our life. Keep going, keep pushing. I mean, how true is that, everybody? It doesn't matter if you're talking about trading or work or relationships or challenges that you have. Yeah, sometimes we feel low and we get depressed about a lot of things, right? And, in this aspect, if we're talking about trading and you feel like you can never make another penny ever in the history of your life, don't worry. It will turn around. But during these hard times, we tend to, at least I do, with my trading, I really sharpen my pencil, get in there. How could I improve? What am I doing wrong? So forth and so on. And that's what Harnett says. Don't worry. It's always the low points of our lives that teach us the most important lessons. But we do learn the most important lessons when things are not going well or there are challenges. So once again, if you are feeling very low and depressed with your trading, don't worry. It's always the low points of our life that teach us the most important lessons, which eventually help us throughout our life. Keep going, keep pushing. If you're having a hard time trading right now, if you're a little down, don't worry about it. Stick with your rules. That's the most important thing. Stick with your rules. Don't do anything crazy. The market will go back up. You'll get, you're in a drawdown. All traders have drawdowns, and then you have moves up too. So thank you, Harnett. I appreciate that, sir. That was helpful for me. I hope it was helpful for everyone else. All right. Wow, Tracy, way to go on Beyond Meat. Holy hamburgers. Holy Hannah. Wow. That is fantastic. All right. I am going to put SSO down here because, of course, I take the overnight SPY trade, but SSO is basically just the SPY, and that's a pretty good setup, actually. Let's go through and take a look. Berkshire Hathaway, everybody. I have been waiting for this. I thought I was going to get it yesterday. Return to value, sideways, 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 down, sideways, 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 sideways. This is what sideways is, everybody, right here. What happened today? False breakout to the downside. What do I mean by that? That means here's the low of the range. Today we went below that range, tested it, rallied back up. That's a goodie. And we also had a V1. Here is day one. Here is day two. Day two washes out day one. Day two, it looks like at this point, is going to close above day one's close. So I better, let's see, 249.44. 249.44. That is yesterday's close. That's my line in the sand. If it does close above 249.44, I will take the trade. No doubt about it. This is such a good looking setup. It doesn't mean it has to go up, everyone, right? Please, We does not have to go up. Just because you have a really nice setup, don't go all crazy. I'll just take my regular position size on this, but I do really like this trade. DocuSign also has a intraday rejection of the 200-day moving average. It rejected the 250 back here. You know, when you're looking to see if a moving average is going to hold, look in the past and see if that moving average held last time. And it did, like almost to the penny. So this does backtest well. I did test it earlier. Stop would be a close under the 250 days. So this looks decent, and it's up. It's a NASDAQ stock, and it's up on a down day, so the relative strength is pretty good. Shopify. Okay, so I backtested Shopify with the intraday rejection of the 200-day moving average. Currently, right now, it is below the 200. Would I take it? If it were above, I would consider it. It would be a higher low intraday rejection above, but right now, as it is below. Dash, pretty good. Sideways motion here. False breakout to the downside from over here. So we went below the range. V1 back up into the value zone. Pretty good. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly doesn't give me a whole lot here because I don't have a lot of data on this stock. This one would be okay as well. Tesla. Well, it's a false breakout to the downside and a V1. So we've got a lot of those, and I like those trades. Here's the low of the range. Today we went below there. We also rejected the -1 ATR channel. We triggered a V1. MACD is positive. Yeah, you know, these are all good. The key is, though, let's look at the weekly and see if the weekly tells us anything. Weekly has rejected the 50 RSI. It's in the value zone. Yeah, looks pretty good. Lift, return to value, only 1 day sideways. Little chasey, little bit. Yeah, I think I'm going to let that one go. SSO, well, here we go. Actually, I better do some numbers on this one. Let me do a little mathy. I mean, this is a return to value, false breakout to the downside. So we were above the value zone, in the value zone. We made a lower high, and we washed out the low. We are above 50 RSI. Yeah, I do kind of like that. I kind of like DocuSign. Yeah, it's going to be tough actually to Elastic ESTC, false breakout to the downside plus a V1, rejection of the 200. This also looks good. Nike, this is what Steve was talking about. We definitely went under 30 RSI and over 30 RSI. Let's use the little measuring tool down here at the low. Oh, look at that. It bounced right at 30. It bounced right at the 30, and it did reject the -3rd ATR channel. I mean, look, this could be, you know, the buy of the century, but I don't like it as much as I like the other ones, just because of the big, huge gap and the headlines with all that. Qs, false breakout to the downside, and possibly a V1. I don't know. Let's see. 311.87. It's 312.01. Yep. Oh boy. All right. So VRNS, false breakout to the downside and a V1. And still the value zone still above, so no. NBIX, that looks really good and strong, but way too chasey for me. AGQ is double leverage silver. It's false breakout to the downside in V1. I think I'm just going to wait for a crossover. Alibaba, of course, we talked about Alibaba. There is a beautiful double bottom with the bullish divergence, but there is no signal yet. There's no trigger, so watch that in the future. Play, wow, up 11.77%, but way too chasey. EDU, I remember this stock. It would have to get above the 200, and it's not there yet, so I'm going to forget about that one. NAII, it's a V1, but the day one bar is too big. Shopify would be decent. You know, our resident Shopify expert is definitely Kamal, but you know, the way I'm looking at this would have to close above the 200 in order for me to get interested. So I really like Berkshire Hathaway. I think that looks the cleanest. DocuSign would give a little exposure into the NASDAQ. SSO is a beautiful return to value V1. Fortunately, I cannot take all of these. I like Tesla the least, actually, out of all these. Qs are under the 50 RSI, so just that little fact right there puts that over here. I like Berkshire. I like the volume on DocuSign. And I like SSO. Tracy said, I would be good with Kamal running the podcast for a week or so. I would be good with that as well, Trace. I would totally be good with that. Glenn, hi Greg, been waiting since mid-February for a low to enter. Cycles indicating a low due within the next few weeks. Would be interested in BRB at the 50 EMA as we saw back in December. Good to see you, Glenn. Glenn has a very good approach to trading. He's very patient, looking for the symbol, looking for the cycles. Good to see you, Glenn. Let's take, so BRB. BRB. Huh. I typed in BRB and it brings up BRBR. I don't have just a BRB by itself, Glenn. Johan says JP Morgan. Yeah. I mean, it's a V1. It's okay. It's okay. Citigroup. Really no sideways motion. We just came into the value zone, down, 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 V1. So there's no sideways motion, so I don't like that one. I mean, it's strong today, but I like this one better. I like this one the best because we have a false breakout to the downside, a serious washout, and a V1. Let's look over on the weekly. In the value zone. I like that one the best. Qs now have a V1. Came back from 25 minutes ago. Yep, I saw that. I think I'm going to let the Qs go. If I take something, it would be the SSO because the SSO is above 50 RSI, which is stronger to me for sure. Oh my. All right. That's amazing. That is amazing. All right. Definitely I like Berkshire the best. DocuSign, I don't like that we rejected the negative 1 ATR channel. And I do like SSO. So I think I am going to buy BRKB and SSO. I think I'm going to stay away from the NASDAQ at the moment. I would just buy the SPY, but I have the overnight SPY trade, so that makes it a little difficult. So yeah, clean trade, under 50, over 50. BRKB, I love it. I'm definitely going to take a picture of this and use this in my lessons, because this is a perfect example. Coming into the value zone, waiting to see whether or not there are buyers supporting the price, which there are. Yeah. All right. So BRKB and SSO. And we have about 13 minutes. All right, let me do a little math here. And I guess I better check on my current position and see if TMO is going to hang in there for me. Oh, no, doesn't look like it is. So I'm going to have to, looks like I'm going to have to sell that and take the loss. So let's see, TMO, Qs, BRKB, I can get rid of Apple, and SSO. I think on the Qs, I can just wait for a 520 crossover, see if this is real. Okay, Glenn says mistake. It should be BRK. Oh yeah, that's the one I'm looking at today. Glenn, that's my trade of entry. Choice of entry, preference. It's not bad. It's not bad, David. False breakouts of the downside. Nice V1. Back in the value zone. Not really a double bottom with the bullish divergence, but pretty good. Pretty good. I would expect a little backfill on this one. I don't know why. That's just my gut, because we rejected the 5. You know, if I was day trading this, I probably wouldn't buy this here. I'd wait for a pullback and see if I could get myself a better risk to reward. All right. Well, I guess Thermo Fisher could potentially, maybe, I don't know. We shall see. I kind of doubt it. But on SSO, double leverage SPY, value zone, lower high, wash out of the low, V1, under 50, over 50. You know, if I can't take this, I don't know what trade I could take. My stop would be right here, close below halfway of the washout bar. Steve says, I'm long Nike. Oh, Steve did go with the under 30, over 30 on Nike. Awesome. Okay. Well, I will get that updated for sure. BRKB is just rolling now. Apple has a false breakout to the downside in V1. Yes, it certainly does. I'm just going to go with the SSO, Kamal, just so you know, right? Because it's already over 50, so it's already made that, gotten over that hump. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so I sold Thermo Fisher. I sold TMO. If it closes back over, oh well, but really grateful for the reverse off the low, I can tell you that. Holy smokes. BRKB still look okay to buy? Yes. SSO still look okay to buy? Yes. PSXP. PSXP. False breakout to the downside, under 50, over 50. Now it looks good. Now it looks a lot better, Leva, but make sure it closes over 50. Make sure that V1 confirms, yeah? I don't know if we're going to rally in the last 5 minutes or come back down, but I'm just going to take the guesswork out of it and just wait as close to the close as I can get. Woo, Berkshire really came off of its high in that last 25-minute bar. I'm glad I didn't buy early. Berkshire might get a 520 crossover tomorrow if we head up. SSO still looks good. Holding the -1 ATR channel on the weekly. All right, 4 minutes to go. NASDAQ has turned negative again. Frank bought BRKB at 250.74. Good. Q selling off. Three minutes to go. 2.5 minutes to go, I mean, sorry. My goodness. All right, coming into the final minute. All right. There's my BRKB. And there's my SSO. All right, done and done. Man, what a day. Holy hamburgers. Three, two, one, close. All right, so I did get rid of TMO with the close underneath the 200-day moving average. Had to take a loss, but wasn't too bad. Glad I waited till the end of the day than selling it all the way down there, right? All right, where did I get filled? Let's see. Overnight SPY trade, I got filled at 389.70. SSO, I got filled at 98.93. And BRKB, Berkshire, I got filled at 250.86. All right, so new overnight SPY trade. At 389.70. BRKB at 250.86. And again, my stop on this trade will be halfway of today's bar. Today is the washout bar. So the red line right here. Tomorrow, if it closes underneath it, well, that's too bad. I'm just out. But that 50 Fibonacci number, hopefully will give it some support, and hopefully we can rally. But it's a very good risk to reward ratio, right? I'm risking theoretically, here to here. And if we went up and made new highs, I don't know if we will, but it does offer a good risk to reward ratio. And then SSO, same thing, false breakout to the downside and a V1. Where did I get filled here? I got filled at 98.93. And the same kind of setup, false breakout to the downside, V1, halfway the washout bar is right about there. If it closes below 97.60, I will be out. So that, or if it loses the 50 RSI, I will sell half of my position. So if any of my students in the group have any new updates for me today, please go ahead. Just put them in the chat and we'll get them all taken care of. Real quick, before we get to that, I just do want to remind everybody, I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I teach a 15-hour course where I teach you all 5 of my trading setups that I've used over the last 25 years. I teach you each one step by step so you know exactly how many shares to buy in relationship to your account value, where your emergency stops are, end of day stops are, profit targets, overhead resistance, and they're really good setups. I mean, you see me use them here all the time. So the course is 15 hours, 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours. That's where you get the 15 hours. And it does cost $1,750, but I really honestly believe it's worth every penny. I believe it's worth a lot more than that just because of the one-on-one attention that you get. I throw questions at you. I try to mix you up. I'm not going to let you go until I know that you know the material. All right. I take a lot of pride in my lessons, and I'm very vested in my students' success after. So I know you'll be a better trader. If you are interested, just email me. The email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter and just in the message say, Greg, I'm interested in your one-on-one course, and I'll reply back and say, great, let's set up a Skype call. I want to learn more about you, your trading, what you're trying to get out of the course, what your goals are, what your challenges are. Then it's a good time for you to ask me questions about the course as well. All right. And then secondly, I do have a new online course. In case you're not in the financial position to take the one-on-one lessons, I have the second best thing, which is a lot less. And it's my deep dip buy course up on Udemy, on udemy.com. The link is in the description of this video. It's 9.5 hours of video, 26 videos total, 15 study guides, and I teach you step by step the deep dip buy stock trading strategy, which is a great one. I use it all of the time. I used it today, as a matter of fact, on that trade on Apple. So, it's $12 or $15, and so trust me, for $12 or $15, you are going to learn a really, really good trading methodology. So the link's in the description. And then lastly, if you like today's podcast, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It does help to build the channel. It does help to keep the channel around, lets YouTube know that there's some valuable content so they can get out and share it more and, keep the channel going, right? Okay, that's that. And let's get on over and take a look and see who did what. Let's see. I'm going to start up here with Steve because Steve, road trip, Glenn. Okay, Glenn got in BRKB. Glenn, I don't know if you know this, but I'm reserving the board over there just for my students, just because it was getting a little out of hand as far as how many positions I had to put up. So I hope you can appreciate that. But Glenn did get in at BRKB at 244.55, which is great because it's 250.64. So fantastic. Steve is long Nike. So let's put Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Why do I have 5 up there? All right, so Steve went ahead and bought Nike with the under 30, or the bounce at the 30 and the rejection of the negative third ATR channel. All right, and Steve bought that at 244, no, 128.91. All right. Finally getting some deep dip buys. Been a lot of crossovers lately, but not a lot of dip buys. So let's put this up here for Steve. Okay. Tracy is in BKRB and SSO. Okay, Trace. I like these trades. I hope they work for us. No guarantee that they will, obviously, but I'm glad to have you along for the ride. We have a trade plan at least, right? We know when we're getting out. We position size correctly. We know our emergency stop is 2 ATRs below our entry. We know our end of day stop is, which is closed below halfway of today's washout bar. We'll set our profit targets like you know how to do. We'll put in our trailing stop mechanisms as well. We have a plan. Doesn't mean it has to go up, but we have a plan. And Tracy's also an SSO. Nigma says, can we take a look at XOM on the close, please? Yes, let's look at Exxon. Okay, so did not form a V1. I would not have taken this V1 anyway. We have the -1 ATR channel above as resistance. This looks like to me that, you know, we had a big move down, and I know Lilia's favorite term is dead cat bounce. This seemed like a little bit of a dead cat bounce to me. Can you see what I mean, Lilia? How it just comes down, comes down, comes down. You drop something out of the window, it hits the floor. It is going to bounce a little bit, probably before it heads back down. But I do not see a valid signal here on Exxon Nigma. Johan is out of TMO. In BRKB. And in JP Morgan. You know, if you look at the financials, you know, generally financials do better with higher interest rates. So you see how we went up, and now we had a down move and then one day up. Well, let's look at bonds. Bonds are exactly the opposite. As bonds go up, interest rates gets lower, banks don't make as much money. So bonds have been going up, and a down day completely correlated to down with an up day on JP Morgan. Interesting, right? David is in BRKB. All right, good luck to us there. In SSO. And a quarter Nike. All right. Kind of nibbling around there. Nigma says, there's some investor lawsuit happening. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Exxon had a big run up there, didn't it? Big run. Yeah, I mean, that run never stopped. But, you know, if I was looking to buy Exxon, we close below the -1 ATR channel. I'd like to see it rally into the value zone. People that bought down here will probably take profits. That will move it back down. I'd like to see it go back down, test the -1 ATR channel below, look for a higher low V1, V2, and then have another leg up. That's how I would look at it. All right. Lilia, are you still in TMO, Lil? You're the only one I have left there. So the Qs did finish down and they did untrigger their V1. So we could get a V2 tomorrow. Who knows? All right, let's see what's happening after hours. Apple is unchanged. BRKB is unchanged. The Dow's up 25 cents. Qs are up 32 cents. SPY's up 38 cents. SSO up 19 cents. Nice. Kamal says, add a Shopify. All right, well, maybe we can grab Shopify tomorrow if it goes up, right, Kamal? Close back over the 200 and kept PKI, okay. Oh, and PKI was up for you, good. Oh, closed above the 200, nice. Thanks, Greg. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you, Kamal. Appreciate that, my friend. Listen, let me lead you off with this. Like every day, if we all do one random act of kindness daily, we just might set the world in the right direction. And this is from Martin Kornfeld. And anyone have a feeling the world is not in the right direction? I feel that often. And maybe by us going out and doing one nice thing, one act of kindness for another person today. And on top of that, if we could go out and do one nice thing for an animal today, I think the world could become a better place if we could all do that, and everyone would do it for everyone. Could you imagine? It would be great. If you do something nice for another human, they're going to appreciate it. They're going to feel good. If you do something nice for an animal, I promise you, they are going to notice and appreciate it, and it should make you feel better. Then all three of you feel better on the day, right? What could be wrong with that? And if everyone can do that, we would have a better place. So maybe we could just start it here with this little podcast. But I always like to leave this off. I don't have a large platform, but listen, this is a good message. And, you know, hopefully by hearing it instead of not hearing it, maybe you will go out and do something nice for someone every once in a while, which would be good, right? Okay. Anyone else have any other questions? Anything I can help you with whatsoever? I'm happy to do it. Anyone have any jokes? All right. So it seems like things are up a little bit after hours. SPY's up 45 cents. SSO's up 18 cents. Berkshire's up 5 cents. Hey, 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 looking good. All right. Lova says, thank you for everything, Greg. You are certainly welcome, my friend. You let me know if there's anything I can help you with, okay? And last chance for questions. Going once, going twice, 3 times. Oh, I think, did I put Frank in? No. Sorry, buddy. All right. So we have Frank in as well in Berkshire. Boom. Done. And done. And done. Okay, I think that's it. Have a good rest of your day. Go out and do something nice, right? Be good, be safe, drive safe. Maybe study your charts, go have some fun, go on a hike. Nigma says, thank you. See you tomorrow, group. Thank you, Nigma. Appreciate you coming, my friend. Appreciate everyone coming. And all right, I think that's it. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, thankfully. Okay, talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.